So welcome to Profile 3 TV, and today we're joined by Sarah Stenhouse from Oodls. So Sarah, thank you very much for coming on and having a chat with us today.
No problem at all.
Amazing. You wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your background and what Oodls is?
Yeah, so that's tied in quite nicely actually. So we'll roll back to 2015, and my role was working in a marketing agency. And I had a client come in to the agency who wanted to do a Father's Day campaign. And they didn't have a lot of budget, so there wasn't an option to do our own photography. It was really based on stock libraries. So I spent a lot of time, probably too much time, looking through the larger libraries on the web, looking for images that really represented Father's Day. But it was really American, and this was for a Scottish client. So, you know, a day in Scotland for Father's Day is at the zoo, Edinburgh Zoo. It's peeing down with rain, and there just wasn't anything on there that represented that. So I was an avid user of Instagram at the time. Like, I even got an iPhone specifically to get video on Instagram, because that was released first on iOS and it was Android. And I knew there was loads of images on there to use that would represent really nicely Father's Day. And I thought, well, surely someone's doing this. Like, there must be a service that they just clear the licensing for you. Had to be Google. No one was doing it. And I just thought, you know, this is a real shame and it's a big gap in the market. So yeah, I just thought I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna make this a thing.
Just talking actually about how big Instagram is for businesses. So what's your experience of that?
Yeah, so Instagram, I feel, is still one of those channels that we were just discussing before we started the interview. It's still a channel that many businesses don't know how to even go about. I think it's because it's purely visual, and there's a lot of effort and resource that may perceive to go into that. But I suppose that's one of our benefits, is that we can allow you to find user-generated content. So it's not going to be a huge effort for you to then start an Instagram channel. But yeah, I definitely say it's the fastest growing social network behind WeChat. Yeah, so I think if you have a business now, you need to be seeing that as one of your bread and butters, like Facebook or Twitter. Instagram needs to be incorporated into that marketing channel, especially that the younger demographics on there now. If you look at the stats with Facebook, that's more going. There's always that curve of early adopters. So you've got your younger people who are a bit more hungry for new technology, and then that's teased out, and then the more mature audience then starts to use it. So that's what's happening with Facebook. So if you're trying to target a younger demographic, I would definitely say you need to be on Instagram.
It's still early days then for people to get onto Instagram, is it? For businesses?
Yeah, because they've only just started to make the transition over. So Facebook was, so for everyone that doesn't know, Facebook bought Instagram in 2012. They left Instagram alone for a long while. They didn't really get involved in how it was run, and that was quite evident with the founders. Were quite clear that, you know, Mark Zuckerberg was part of the board, but really left Instagram to continue what they were doing. And it's only recently that Facebook's now started to see a decline in their platform's growth, that now they've put more attention onto Instagram. And things are slowly starting to turn into the same way that Facebook has done things. So they're starting to push ads a lot more now. But it's still early days. Like, the channel won't turn into Facebook. I feel like a lot of the learnings that they've made from Facebook, it's actually a blessing that they've done that with a larger platform, that won't come into Instagram. They only recently made the switch that now you can opt in to become a business profile rather than just a personal one. And there's benefits to do that, but there's also benefits not to do that, which we can discuss later if you want as well. But yeah, I think it's not fully monetized yet, and there's still hacks to get around it rather than having to pay with ads. Whereas Facebook, if you really want to make an impact, you really need to be thinking about adverts.
Totally. Facebook's totally changed now. It's incredible, the difference from the early days to, and I guess Instagram will go on its own journey as well. So as a Instagram master, have you any tips or advice for people who are going into the platform at the start, and how do they, as a business especially, how do they put out good content that would get people's attention and engagement?
Yeah, so I'm a true believer that you shouldn't have a social media profile unless you've got, you know, a plan to post on it consistently. There's nothing worse than go into an Instagram account, maybe there's like 3 posts there and it's not been touched for like 4 months. It makes it look like you're not that interested in the channel and you're just trying it out. So I would definitely say have a look at what your competitors doing in the space, look at feedback from your customers, like what are they asking for, what interests them most, look at your blog, what articles have been working on your blog, even on Facebook, what got a lot of engagement, and then start to plan out what you might want to post daily, you might want to post every 2 days, it really depends on how much resource. I would say don't overstretch yourself, definitely go for quality over quantity, and you can post anything really on Instagram as long as it's engaging for your audience. So what we do as a business might not fit somebody else's business, so you really have to get into the kind of niche, the mindset of your users, and think, what type of content would they want to see, and what's the goal here? Do you want them to engage with your posts? Do you want them to link through to your bio link? Because you only get one link on Instagram, which is your bio. They are starting to bring links into stories now. But I would definitely take time to research the space, and get to know what type of content you're going to post first, and then also look at user-generated content. Don't think that you're going to have to make all your own stuff. Like, there's a lot of content out there that you can repurpose in your own channel.
Amazing. That leads us nicely into a question. So you and I know, well, I think I know what user-generated content is, but you wouldn't mind explaining for people who don't what it actually is? Yeah,
so for us, there's 2 definitions of user-generated content. So you've got earned media, and then you've got people who are just living their days on Instagram and posting about it. So earned media is where you invite a business into the conversation. So for example, I could be drinking a really famous beverage, and then take a picture of that and then tag them in that post and invite them into the conversation and ask them to use something with my content. So we'd call that earned media. And then you have just user generated content, which is I could be out walking my dog, it's a lovely sunset, and then I take a picture of that, and it's just to really share with my friends and family. So it's anything that a user creates. It doesn't just have to be images, it can be text, it can be video, it could be like comments on blogs, that sort of thing.
So again, you've enhanced my understanding of user-generated content, so I wouldn't have thought it was all that, but of course it is when you'd explain it that way. So very interesting. So I'm learning new things today as well. And then it leads nicely, I guess, into the services that you provide. So you wouldn't mind explaining what you guys do and how it works, and even who some of the clients or users might be, and the benefits of doing that as well.
Yeah, so we essentially provide an alternative to stock photography. So for businesses that are looking for something a bit more authentic, a bit less polished, that can really resonate with users. So we essentially look through Instagram and we tag the content with artificial intelligence. So I don't know if anyone, if anyone's watching this and uses Instagram, you'll know that you can only search by one hashtag, a place, or a user profile that you already know. So things about users is that they know how to play the system on Instagram. So if you have a picture of a cat, you might also use the hashtag dog as well as cat, because it's got a large following, you're more likely to get seen by other people. That's not so good for a stock library that's trying to make the content searchable. So we have now we take all those images from Instagram, we fire it through artificial intelligence that looks inside the image, so we can see that it's a cat, not actually a dog. And that saves you time if you're looking for an image to use. And then on top of that, we then get the license from the Instagram user. So you're free to then take that image and then use it on your blog or like marketing material, whatever you want. And there's no kind of fear there that you are then going to infringe on their copyright and then you're going to get a nasty email, or even worse, like an invoice come through for lost revenue. So we just provide a very clear and easy way for you to get access to user-generated content as much as you would for images from a stock library. And we're just based on Instagram. Like, we don't work with any other social network, so it's purely for Instagram content.
Incredible. I'm thinking the quality of the content on Instagram. I look at some of the photos, and I looked at your Instagram feed as well, and I was going, oh my word, these photos are incredible.
So from user-generated content, that's nothing that we've produced. So yeah, that's evidently, everyone can go to Oodls.io on Instagram and check it out. That all that content's come from our database of users.
Exactly, and that's the, I guess, the win in what you're doing, because there's, we think of the technology of the iPhones or other phones, the high tech, how good the photos are, and then how many talented people there are around the world
Exactly.
taking amazing photos from food to landscape. Oh my word!
And most of the time when we contact users and we say, because we have two-way system, like we have content that you can buy straight away because somebody submitted it to the website, but we also do a request process where if somebody's found an image on Instagram but wants to license it and we've not necessarily got it in our database yet, we go out to that person and say, hey, look, we've got you a sale. And most of the time people are like, oh my God, like somebody thinks my image is good enough that they want to buy it. Because it's just so unexpected, and a lot of people don't go on Instagram to make money. It's just to share a moment of their life with their family and their friends.
And I'm just thinking, yeah, exactly, for people who are at home or maybe self-employed, opportunity for extra income, a surprise. So
Yeah,
very nice.
definitely. So we've actually found that some Instagram users aren't even interested in the cash. So we've got a pot of money that we can't absorb back into the business because of tax reasons. But one of my personal kind of motivations is to support mental health and the stigma behind mental health. Yeah. So we are partnering with a mental health charity. So all the fees that the Instagram user doesn't take into their bank account, we will then donate that money to a mental health charity instead.
Wow, incredible! So what a business model. That's incredible. And who would be the typical brand that could use your service, or can anyone use it?
Anyone can use it, yeah. So we've worked from really large high street banks. We've done images for their rebrand, their website. They're wanting to move away from this more stuffy corporate look to something a bit more realistic that their customers would experience on a daily basis. And then we've worked with like a local shop around the corner. It's for any business that requires visuals and they care about looking a bit more authentic and creating that tighter relationship with their users. Or even there's not a lot of, so for example, we're currently doing some work for a cosmetic surgery clinic, and the pool of images on a stock library is very small for this industry, so they're seeing a lot of the same images on their competitors' websites. So that's why they're coming to us, because the images on Instagram is so varied and diverse. Like there's 80 million images uploaded onto Instagram every single day. So the likelihood of you using the same image as somebody else is drastically decreased.
Incredible. I'm just thinking of the opportunities, because we talked briefly about how bad stock photos can be. And we would write a lot of content and would use in the past a lot of stock images. Yeah. But we try now to not use stock images and create images. Yes. So actually I can see that the value in a service and using like real photos, absolutely incredible. And stock photos aren't cheap anymore. There was a time they were cheap.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
You've got services like Unsplash that now offer free photography, but the issue with that is if you there's no vetting procedure there. Like you can't, although it's free, Unsplash don't give you any warranty that they've got the rights to use that image. It's a Commons license. They don't have to upload proof that the person in the photograph's given approval for them to do that. So it's very much it depends on how much risk you want to take as a business.
Exactly. And we allowed guest posts on our blog at one stage, and someone uploaded sent us a blog, beautiful blog, and they sent us some photos. Of course, a couple of months went by, we had a legal letter. I think it was £600 from for using the photo that we had no permission, but we eventually got it sorted out, and we were able to prove, because we had the T's and C's now, but again, talk about risk. As you say, you're risking your business, your reputation, and letters that you do not want to get.
Yeah, no, totally. But it's the same thing as like, why do you not download movies from the internet? Same thing. It's copyright. It's somebody else's IP. Yeah. Effort and love has went into that file, that digital file, and the photographs shouldn't be seen any differently.
And twisting it another way, you're actually then protecting some users on Instagram's IP. Then you're actually representing them.
Well, we're fighting for the underdog. They're either the stock libraries. They all do that for their photographers on their database. They're exactly the same. So all the photographers that contribute to Oodls all the images that are being uploaded by Instagram users, we have a tool that basically looks across the internet for these images being used by other businesses so that we can then contact them, because we act as agents on behalf of the Instagram users. So we then basically do what you got the other day, which is a letter saying, you're using that without permission. That's it's not right. It's not fair. This is what you're due us.
Incredible, excellent. And since we're talking about the merge of businesses, online marketing, there's challenges then, I guess, that us as marketeers, digital marketing agencies would have online. Would you have seen any of them or dealt with any of them, or have any insight into those as well?
So we've not actually had to contact any businesses as of yet. Everyone's quite good. I think a lot of our problem is that Instagram content is used on other Instagram profiles, so it's not as easy to monitor. But part of our efforts is that with us pulling so much content in from Instagram, we can then start to make that easy to do, like reverse search, like what you do on Google. We can do that for Instagram with the amount of content that we've gone through.
Amazing. And one of the, I know, and we'd have some colleagues who would be slightly frustrated when their image on Instagram is reposted.
Yeah.
So have you any thoughts on that? Is that, or what's your temperature check of the market in that?
So we if you're going to do it, if you want to do it without getting a license, always ask permission. Always say and be really clear about how you're going to use the image. But we would always say, again, it's like what's the risk to you? And then the added benefit of actually license the image properly rather than just doing it as a kind of permission, like, are you okay if I use this, is you then have an advocate on the other end that would then say, oh my god, this business was great, like they actually bought that image from me, and then that's already like a positive connotation of your brand, just for giving them 10 quid to use it. And how much that spreads on their network. They might have 200,000 followers or something like that, and then they then share that with their followers, like, this business is great, like they ask permission, that nice feeling. So yeah, I definitely say all the time, ask permission, never just use it and just tag and just think they'll be okay with it. It's whoever, if any image that you upload onto Instagram, you own the copyright to it, unless obviously it's like a screenshot or whatever, or like a still from like a movie. You don't own the copyright to that. But if it's your own image, you've taken it, you own the copyright to it.
Incredible. So amazing advice as ever. And is there any campaigns, and you mentioned a couple of companies you worked with, but any campaigns or examples you could give us?
Yeah, so we are currently doing a lot of it's not online. It's more kind of like research based we're doing just now. So we're working with a big tourism agency in the UK, and they're looking for images that will that they can then add to their social media channels. So they're looking at different places around the UK, and that might end up translating to brochures or other marketing material. In fact, just saying that now, I've just remembered we're working with greeting card companies. So there's going to be some images from Instagram on like in the shops that you can buy.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
July we're doing that. Yeah.
It's amazing. No, absolutely. And you give those real life examples. I can just see the possibilities open up. So would there be a different agreement then for someone to use it on their Instagram or in a blog post versus someone who's using it in print?
Yeah, so I don't really, when I was working in an agency, I just didn't think that rights managed worked for digital life anymore. If you buy a license and you say it's only going to be seen by 5,000 social media followers, and then that's the price of that license. So social media, like you don't have that control over it, So everything that we do is royalty free. So you buy a license, we have clear terms how you can use it and how you can't use it. The only kind of restriction we have is that you can't use it for sensitive use cases. So all these kind of campaigns where you see stock models being on the adverts for like hemorrhoid cream and stuff, that won't happen with us. That's part of our licenses that you can't do things like that.
Incredible. Actually, I'm definitely going to be talking to you after this video. So I'm no, amazing, absolutely amazing. What a solution. So, so what does the future then? What's the plans, the roadmap? What's next?
Yeah, so we are going for global domination here. Definitely, that's the word. We want to be on comparison of, say, the bigger guys like Shutterstock. So they're integrated into everything right now. If you're going to Facebook Power Editor to make a Facebook post, there's an option to drop in a photo from Shutterstock. And we want to be in there as well. We want to be an option, if you don't want to do stock, use UGC, that's all being pre-cleared. And to other MarTech programs and things. Our bigger kind of offline vision is we want to create a community for Instagram users. So think Insta meets locally, but at an international scale. So we're looking at doing like a big Instagram event in Edinburgh in the October. So that'll be really good fun. We did a launch party for our new name and the new website going live, and we had some really high profile Instagram users from around Scotland come and support what we're doing, and it's just really positive. Like, it's a really nice community we're making. Really excited for the next year.
Absolutely incredible. So if anyone wants to find out more about your company and what you're doing, and to actually reach out and try and get some protected Instagram photos, what's the best way, and content, actually, not just the photos, what's the best way for them to do that?
So they can email me directly if they want to. So it's Sarah with an H at Oodls, so oodls.io.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can even just check out the website, which is oodls.io as well. And we have a live chat, so you can just talk to one of the team if you need help with anything.
Incredible. No, and thank you very much for your time today. That was brilliant. So if anyone wants to check out Sarah and the team and to look at the Instagram user-generated content, please do check out the links below this video or in the article here, and hopefully enjoy this content. This is Kieran and Sarah. So Kieran from Profile 3 here in Belfast, the content marketing agency, and hopefully you learned a lot as I did today, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thank you.